Welcome everyone to the Voice of Terminus show. It's a special stream today. On a Friday, we're joined today by Lexa. Say hello, Lex.
Hello, people.
And Kodiak. Say hello, Kodiak.
Good afternoon.
And we have with us two very special people from VR, the community team, Ben Kilsin Walters and Jason Medawky Bolton. Say hello.
Hey guys.
Hello.
So we're going to have these two wonderful gents introduce themselves real quick to the community. For those of you that have never, joined our show or whatever, to get a quick insight of what these two actually do, and we'll start off with you, Ben.
As you said, I'm the community and web manager, and basically just manage all the platforms, our official platforms, the community, and yeah, try to keep you guys happy, talk, chat, share as much info as I can, and yeah, that's it.
Cool.
It's not that interesting. I don't have a better description, I'm sorry.
And
wish I could make it sound cool.
I bet it's hard not sharing the secrets, though.
It is very hard.
Somebody tweets something, you're like, oh, I know the answer, but I can't tell you.
They would love me forever if I could just say this one word.
So we'll have Jason introduce himself. And
Hello.
Go on in.
Sorry about that, talking all over you. Yeah, I'm Jason Bolton. I go by Medawky, and I'm basically Ben's lackey. I do whatever he tells me to do. I primarily run our Twitter account and then back him up on other things. So, although he does interact with folks on Twitter, a lot of times if you get a snarky remark from a reply, it's probably me.
Sure, blame me. I was
going to say, I try to reply to the tweets as much as I can. Who's the one that's usually replying to them?
If there's a smiley face, it's Ben. If there's no smiley face, it's me.
Yeah, a little bit of attitude.
There you have it, guys. Now you know when who's who.
Smiley face and no smiley face.
Emojis and no emojis. There you go.
That's your peek behind the curtain.
That's it.
Right, so let's get into it. Let's go and dive into some of the stuff that we wanted to ask you guys, and give the folks something to talk about. Kodiak, do you want to start it off?
All right, we'll start with the first question. The first question is, has there ever been a feature implemented in Pantheon that you were unsure would be a good fit, but you were surprised that it worked out well?
I'll go first if you want, Jason.
Yeah, go ahead. Alphabetical. You're good.
Cool. Mine was actually a perception system, funny enough. When it was first described to me, I couldn't get my head around how that would work compared to a typical MMO where you would actually go up to a quest giver or go up to an NPC to check yourself. I thought that was more immersive, and hearing how the perception system was explained just sounded crazy to me. Like, it didn't make sense. I was like, I don't know if that's going to work. When I got in the game and saw even the very first elements of it, absolutely blown away. Like hearing the little immersive noise and the sound and the first person kind of messages pop up on your screen, like you saw in the stream, how it says, you feel someone's watching you or something. The impact that has while you're playing is incredible. Like, I didn't think that it could have that much of an impact, but that definitely had to be mine. I thought it was really strange and thought it would be scrapped early on, and actually testing it and experiencing it in game is probably one of the best features that I've seen in an MMO to date. So absolutely loving it. One extreme to the other.
Cool.
And now we know the secret that I should have gone first, because that was exactly that's the same feature.
Let's face it. I mean, the perception system is radically different from anything done in the last 17 years.
It is and it isn't. It is and it isn't.
Yeah, it is. It is and it isn't.
Coming from EverQuest, which I know we're not supposed to mention other games' names, but coming from older MMOs like that, where you basically just had to run around hailing people and hoping that you'd stumble across a quest. I mean, this is a little more intuitive, a little more friendly. So it's one of those differentiators that is adding to the experience without drastically taking it away. Because you could easily just ignore the queue and keep running right past it, which we've done in our play sessions. And they're like, "Hey, did you check out the perception?" I'm like, crap. But once you're in tune to it and you understand the way it works, it's really cool. It's way more intuitive than I thought it would be, and it's pretty fun. I mean, it still gives you that bit of random chance kind of feel that you have without without some big marker over top of some NPC's head saying, "Hey, dummy, come over here." So it adds all the elements that we're looking for.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely one of the ones I'm looking forward to.
And it's good too to let you guys know, like, we haven't conferred answers prior to this stream, so we may have a lot of double ups, just as a warning.
That's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We usually wing most of the shows, so we end up getting conflicting or similar views a lot of the times.
Yes.
That's good though. two independent views in the same time, so it'll be interesting to see how many events are similar.
It will be. Well, let's move on to another one. If there was one class you could add to the existing roster, what would it be and why?
This sounds like one of my CM questions. Like, I give you guys one thing to pick from when I know there's a list of awesome things just to mess with you. You've done it to me because I've got multiple questions. But
Payback.
If I had, it sucks. Now I know how much I hate it. If I had to say one, I would probably go with the Blood Mage, which is a bit of a class you don't really hear too much of. But the mechanics behind the Blood Mage, which was a VG class for people who don't know, was a DPS healing class, and it was really fun to play. Like, the mechanics you had to keep yourself alive, you could share packs with tanks and other group members, and they take damage, and you'd absorb some of that. So you're kind of like a necro in a way, where your life is slowly ticking down because other people are, you're absorbing their damage, and you're constantly having to do damage to heal yourself through, normal spells and cysts and crit spells, and the class itself is so much fun to play. So if I could add something, I love necros, I love bards, I love, psionists and other classes like that. But yeah, I think for something just a little bit different as an answer, I think Blood Mage was a really cool class that I'd love to see something like that. And the Disciple.
You can't,
pretty cool.
You can't pick Necro or Bard anyway, because it's technically already a part of the existing classes. So,
Apparently.
and I will say this to the audience, that we have seen Blood Mage come up multiple times. So you guys should feel good knowing that Kilsin's batting for you.
Blood Mage, very cool class.
Yeah, it's funny that Kilsin.
Yeah, go, man.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, it's funny that Kilsin played the Blood Mage in Vanguard, and I played the Disciple. So yeah, we both enjoy non-traditional healing classes. But if I was going to add a class, it would definitely be the Beast Lord. That's where Medawky got his name in the original EverQuest, and it's always been one of my favorite classes in any game. And I'd love to see something like a Beast Lord in Pantheon, but if it doesn't happen, there's still plenty of other great classes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I ended my EverQuest career as a Beast Lord, so I feel you.
Nice, man. That's another name that I see a lot across the wider community outside of our official platforms. Beast Lord comes up a ton, so that's another one we're keeping an eye on. Possibility after release, like, who knows?
Well, it's one of the most, interesting classes out there. It's when you talk about Beast Lord, it's only been done by, those two games, and it's definitely a very interesting and beloved class. Always has been.
Yeah, there's been a few variations. I think Rift did one with their warrior.
White Lion on what was that name?
Warhammer.
Warhammer. Yeah, they had that.
Yeah, there's been a few variations, but I don't think anyone got it quite as right as EverQuest did.
Yeah, my Rift Warrior was as close to a Beast Lord as I could make it.
And
I enjoyed that about Rift because I could tweak it so much. But
yeah.
Right, so let's go and bring in the next question then. Do either of you enjoy fan-created short stories? If so, what ones have you enjoyed most?
I certainly do. I love, the ones you guys put on the forums and to the wider community to an extent. But like, I read everything, on our official forums, as you know, whether it's a normal post or, classes or mechanics or even just questions or even the short stories of the fan fiction that you guys do. I really, really enjoy it. It's a nice change from reading documents and, the usual stuff for many hours on end to be able to sit down and just see the creativity and imagination from you folks putting into these, short stories, whether they're Pantheon related or not. It's a really good change. So I don't really have a favourite, but I would love to see more. It's not a huge section of our forums, but yeah, I'd love to see see more of the community kind of input with things like that, you know, short stories and fan fiction and stuff like that. It's awesome.
Nice.
That's music to my ears.
So, I don't know if any of you guys read last month's newsletter, or actually, I guess it's still this month's. Christmas makes things so crazy with time, but because we're already working on next month, so I would consider this month's last month. But yeah, the fan fiction, the little fanfic that I wrote for the beginning of the newsletter was basically an homage to all those fanfics that are on our boards, and I just wanted to pay back a little tribute because I saw, you know, so much of that, so much creativity being poured out, and while mine was a pale comparison, I still wanted to get that out there. And you know, if the feedback's good enough, maybe we'll continue the adventures of Kilsin and Medawky in Terminus.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely, man. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, so EQ had gems, or had gems. Vanguard had diplomacy. Was there any kind of mini game in Pantheon? And what kind of mini game would you like to see?
So anyone that knew me knew that I absolutely loved Diplo MMORPG. Like, I had about 12 max level characters, and about 10 of them were max level Diplo. And it was a grind as well to get Diplo up to max level 50. So something like that for me would be awesome. It doesn't even have to be a card game, but something along that kind of premise, I think would be really good. It's like you know, like Gwent for Witcher, you know, that kind of addiction for gems. So the Witcher, that game, man, was
love
insane.
Gwent. I literally played
If we
Witcher
could come
3
up
just to
with
play
that.
Gwent. Yeah.
If we could come up with something like that with our own Pantheon kind of twist, then, you know, that's a bit different, obviously, without, you know, taking off them directly. I think a lot of people would be very happy. So I know we are thinking of doing that. We're adding to crafting, and we do have a third in mind that we can't really speak to yet. It's not even really fleshed out properly yet, but we do have something in mind to fill that spot. So let's hope we can come up with something like, you know, Gwent or Gems or Diplo or something. That'd be really incredible.
Awesome.
Nice.
I would like to see some form of in-game gambling where I could take money from other people, you know, like a poker game or something, while we're sitting there grinding out at levels.
Like a tapping game.
We actually...
Yeah, you know, 5-card stud, or, you know, anything. Something where we could throw actual... Like, it'd be great to have a mechanic where you could actually wager in-game. I don't know if we can really support that or not. That might be...
We actually
they might come after us. They might shut us down. You know, we might have to...
Sadly, back in my EverQuest days, I used to get in a lot of trouble for doing the Rand 100 dice games where you would actually bet.
We actually had a discussion.
I got a few warning tells from GMs about that. Can't do it.
We had a discussion going on one of the ideas in the forums for the you know, PvP arena, and we actually talked about having the people that actually sit there and spectate dictate how the stipulation goes, and you can wager on who's going to win, and you can wager on, you know, certain people. That might be another way of doing it as well, is having actual the spectators. Side events. So basically, you sit in the arena, and the people that actually sit on the sidelines watching the people fight in the PvP arena, they can then make the stipulation. So, for instance, now you've got the Bard. Instead of the Bard having like 2 daggers, he's now got, like, you know, a massive two-handed axe weapon.
Yeah, everybody in the arena can only use a dagger, or everybody has to wear cloth, or everybody has to wear, like, putting certain rule sets in different matches just to change it up. But let the spectators dictate what the rule set's going to be for that match.
And then you can basically wager on that as well.
Yep, just wager blue team versus red team.
I thought that was a cool idea. But
sounds like we're trying to add parimutuel gambling to the game.
Maybe something to consider in an expansion, because that's an awful lot of work.
That sounds cool.
So who's on the next question?
That's me.
That's you.
That's me.
I got confused.
that's a good one right here.
Yeah, all MMOers have war stories. Care to share one of your own?
I had quite a few. I don't know what ones I can say that are safe or PG rated, but some of the more, I think, probably one that stands out the most to me would be this raiding mob in Vanguard called Shendu. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that raid mob. It was a pretty technical fight. It was like one that came out later on, And it meant a lot. It was like a progression. Like there was Imperial War Golem and Shendu were the two kind of benchmarks of like guilds to get past the third tier of kind of tough mobs. So if you could get these two down on farm, you could pretty much kill anything in the game except for probably one or two mobs. And so my guild at the time, we had this mob. We kind of, through progression, got it down to about 16% was the best we could get it to. And within the next couple of days, like that's the last memory I have of like our guild in Vanguard 2, because unfortunately not long after that, I think a couple of days, we got a very bad announcement, and the game was, the support discontinued, so we kind of lost half of our guild, lost half of our community, and wasn't able to finish that mob, so it kind of sucked. But the determination, like the teamwork and the effort, the strat talks, the thousands of lines of combat passing and stuff that went into us getting the mob to where it was, and to almost have it down. I think 1 to 3 more goes and would have had it. But that's definitely something that stands out for me, like a good and a bad memory. Like it was the last one we ever did, couldn't quite finish it, but to get it to where we did with like less than ideal, gear and a few less players than some of the other guilds, like we were actually, punching above our weight and fighting hard to do, to get it down that far. So it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's hear Jason's story.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I have a lot. I have so many. I've played a lot of MMOs. In fact, prior to working for Visionary Realms, I worked at an MMO-centric website writing and reviewing MMOs. So when I say I've played a lot of MMOs, it's not hyperbole. I've played them all. I've played a lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones. I'll tell you that all of my fondest memories, none of them were done through a game-created raid finder or group creator. All of my fondest memories have one thing in common, and that was there was a challenge, and that we overcame that challenge, or we got destroyed, one of the two.
Yeah.
But it was the community. It was the people that I was with. It was the friends. I mean, I met Ben De La Durante, who's Ben and I's boss, in EverQuest. We were in Tower of Frozen Shadows, and he needed help with the quest, and I helped him, and 20-some years later, here we are. So, those are the kind of things that you just can't replicate in a game that holds your hand too much. I mean, you have to get out there. You have to meet people. The community has to create the game. And that's why I love Pantheon. I mean, that's probably I guess I skirted around telling you a war story. But, I mean, that's the common thread is that all of my war stories involve people, and real challenges, and a lot of fun.
100%, man.
Yep, absolutely.
Right, so let's go and pick up the next one. Typical question. All communities have their toxic moments. How do you handle the stress of managing a large community?
I don't know about you guys, but I drink and medicate myself heavily while listening to soothing ocean sounds while I view the forums. No, in all seriousness, I think the stress, like the toxic behavior, I think, is like a problem that's much deeper down. I don't think you have too many, I wouldn't ever say any of our community was toxic. I don't even think portions of it were in the very early stages. I think it was more passion than toxicity. I think it was more about people caring. It wasn't people, trolling or trying to cause trouble. It was people genuinely upset because they were invested emotionally in this. They thought, Pantheon was their last hope. So I can't relate to it with this community. I certainly can with others. I've been a part of others that were toxic, and I think, to talk more to the stress side of things, it's not that bad, but I think in my previous career, it helped me a lot deal with stressful situations, I think. And I know Jason can talk to this as well. But basically, in the risk management industry, there's a lot of things, that it's put onto your shoulders. You need to get right. You can't mess it up. A lot of high stress situations. But yeah, and a lot of other kind of life experiences, I suppose, that just prepare you for that. But people deal with stress differently. I think I'm lucky. I'm one of those people that strive in stressful situations and can handle it. That's not nice if it's ongoing, but I can't relate stress to this job. because I love doing it. It's fun. You know, if I have a stressful day, two of my relaxation techniques is getting on the forums and Discord and Twitter and Facebook and talking to you guys, or going to the gym. So it's two things that I love doing, and yeah, I really get stressed out. Unless Jason and Ben are throwing 50 things at me and I've already got 50 things going, then it's a bit of a juggle. But other than that, I absolutely love it.
Why isn't Kilsin answering my emails? You know, I mean, I think with this community, we're fairly lucky. I mean, there's not a lot of toxicity. And, you know, the thing that we do is look for the silver lining. So either the toxicity, if you want to even call it that, is coming from someone who's super passionate, like Ben said, and really actually cares about the game, or it's just coming from a troll. And the troll, you just brush them off. Whatever, I don't care. This isn't your game. I'm not here to please you. The people who have that really impassioned plea for why is this happening, what can we do, well, how do we fix it? Can we fix it? If we can't fix it, well, you know, we can't. And I think one of the nice things about us is we're very transparent. We're not here to blow sunshine, and we tell you how it is. And you know, this is a young game being made by a really cool team that's really in sync. And I think that flexibility and I mean, our guys are posting on the forums for the VIPs. Like, they're talking to them every week. You're getting a couple, 3 developers. I mean, there's a level of accessibility for our developers that you really haven't seen before. So, I mean, you kind of got their ear. I mean, some things just aren't going to happen. That's just the nature of games, but we're pretty flexible. And like Ben was saying, I worked for 10 years at an ambulance company, and so this really isn't stressful, man. This isn't life or death. This is video games. This is pretty fun. You know, I mean, this is, for me, this is a stress relief doing this. So, I mean, this is great.
Yeah, when you
bring it on.
Something like
we love
that,
you guys.
yeah.
Just a side note, it wasn't us this time, Lexa, but dual shields have come up again in chat.
Oh, come on.
There are no words
either
to
one of you care to
describe what I
comment
want to
about
happen
dual
to people
shields?
that want dual wield shield. There's no words to describe it.
Bunker down, you know, ability.
Yes, because everyone wants the attack animation of curling up into a fetal position, going, "No, don't hurt me."
What if the shields? What if the shields were had bladed edges though? Or what if they actually
Exactly, that's what we were
And
saying.
you have spikes. You could be a piercing weapon. It could double as a piercing weapon, but you get the extra. Anyway.
Okay, one-handed blonde. Possibilities are endless.
I could ever stand it is if it had very, very good attack animations. None of this just, you know, just, oh.
Your attack speed would be a little low, though. I mean, you got a lot of wind resistance and drag there. So.
Maybe if I can jump off cliffs and it's almost like a safe fall.
You could throw, as I said before, you could throw it like a frisbee, have it come back to you like a boomerang. You have some kind of
like some Captain America type stuff, dude.
turns into a range weapon.
Trust us, though, you don't want to roll a critical failure.
Character no longer.
All right, moving on. Moving on. Go ahead, Yarnilla.
Is it me? Is it?
Yeah.
No, it should be you.
Yes, it is Kodiak on 7.
Number 7, Kodiak.
Okay. Describe Pantheon Rise of the Fallen to somebody new to the MMO genre.
I can honestly sit here and talk about it for half an hour, but to describe it to a new person and keeping it relatively short and brief, we usually have, a nice line that we used to say, which is Pantheon's like a unique blend of classically spirited MMO gaming, while exploring new features and mechanics that we believe will make it a unique MMO experience. So it touches on a lot of the mechanics and features that have worked in the past. And we just kind of modernise those and put our own touches of that on there. But yeah, without kind of relating to any specific game, I think, just describing it as a unique blend of classically spirited MMO gaming is a good way to put it.
Now, what can you say that hasn't been said before? It's, I guess if I'm describing someone who's never played an MMO before, I mean, you're going to get online, you're going to make this kick-ass avatar, you're going to meet some really cool people, and then we're going to kick your butt for as many hours as you can stand to have your butt kicked. And when you're done, you're going to feel a real sense of accomplishment. You're going to feel a real connection to that character. You're going to feel a real connection to the other players, and you're going to make memories that are going to last a lifetime.
And make some friends along the way.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's what it's all about, right? I mean, it's social. That's why we're doing this.
Exactly what it's all about. I mean,
antiseptic games with anonymous players that drift in and out of your life. I mean, that's boring, man. Who wants that?
Yeah. I cannot honestly tell you of a good. I've had good experiences in games that have been hand-holdy, but I, for the life of me, can't remember them because they're not memorable.
Mm-hmm. Not at all.
All the good experiences I've had in hand-holdy games are in the non-hand-holdy portion. So, raiding with, getting your butt kicked and wiping on the same boss 120 times, and then that one time you kill it, and then
figuring it out.
That's the magic. That's the magic.
Yeah.
It's a team sport, and that's the fun thing.
Kill a wildfire 500 times and then see something magical drop that no one else has got. It's like those things stick out for you.
Nice.
Okay. Well, let's see. We got lost for a second. Okay. How does Visionary Realms intend to promote social gameplay within Pantheon?
Well,
I think we just talked about that, didn't we, Ben?
Pretty much, yeah. And there's no one thing. There's a range of different systems, like mechanics and features that we kind of call upon that will play like an integral part of promoting social interactions, like excuse me, like even like downtime, things like camping, dangerous but meaningful travel, all these things, they help promote that social kind of gameplay. If you've got to have that little bit of downtime or waiting for transport, even like for a boat or something, there's going to be 10 people or more standing around. You get to see cool new bits of armor and say hi, inspect them, start conversations. Where did you get that from? Kind of thing. Where you're off to. Little things like that. But lots of little things like that all make up that kind of, I think, experience. That's important.
One of the
and also like the large dungeons too. So just to finish, Amberfade was a very good example of that. How many groups could we hold in that dungeon alone that could pass each other by, yell out to each other for help, or I think experiences like that are pretty cool and important.
Nice.
Yeah, I think he touched on a lot of it, but some people will deride kind of the slower combat after some of the newer games have this twitchy, fast, over in 30 seconds kind of combat. But one thing that being in a group and going through a dungeon, I mean, even though you're on your toes and you have that time to actually interact, you have that time to get to know people. You have that you fill that time with conversation and learning about people, or maybe you don't. Maybe you're watching basketball on the other screen. I don't know what you're doing, but I mean, you have the opportunity here, and I think we all know where that leads. To good friendships, and like we've talked about this whole stream, kind of the reoccurring theme and thread through all of it is meaningful relationships that you build with your community. And the other thing that a game like this does is it allows the community to police itself a little bit. I mean, you can't just be a jackhole and expect that you're going to get invited back to groups or expect that you're going to have a place in the community. I mean, there's always chances for redemption. People are pretty forgiving. You don't want to get a bad reputation.
Yeah,
exactly right.
Yeah, I can attest to that. Not fun. Once I left the raiding guild that I was running because I was a massive a-hole, life all of a sudden got a whole new perspective. I was like, I can't find groups, I can't get help, no one wants anything to do with me. And then I kind of sat and thought about it and was like, you know what? I don't blame them.
And then he came crawling to our doorstep, and then we had to let him in.
No. then I started
charity work. It's rehabilitation. Good on you.
Yeah.
No, then I started a new character. I got my head on straight. Met wonderful people. Ended up meeting my wife. So yeah.
There you go.
So a lot of people are worried about this outside of our community and outside of EQ and Vanguard's communities and those close-knit communities, because they're not used to that, and they know how bad it can get and how toxic and how the trolls can destroy their gameplay, their experience. And I see these messages constantly, even on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and to the wider community that take part. And I keep saying the same thing. Exactly what you said. You know, your actions in game will matter, and how you act will determine how you are treated and what your experience will be. But they don't understand that until they play a game like Pantheon. They're not going to understand that. So it's very hard to explain to a new person outside that community policing is a very, very powerful tool. And you know, if you get the odd train, well, it's kind of a bit of bad luck. You need to step up. If it gets to a point where they're ruining your gameplay, then obviously you've got a ignore/command a report. You can call a GM. There's lots of different avenues you can take to get help.
I've even witnessed it myself, community policing as well. Back in the beta days of EQ2, we had some troll in the game, and it got spread around. This person
like
got
a metaphorical troll or a real troll?
A real troll, a proper troll. And the community got to know this person, and it started to spread, and everybody was getting warned about him. And as soon as he came online, it started being, his douchey self and everything. He used to get bashed left, right, and centre from the whole community, and it wasn't fun for him at the end. And it's very important. It's very important for us as a community as well to look out for one another, and to make sure that people that are being trollish, get their due.
That's exactly right. And look, when it is serious, or there is bullying, or race issues and things like that, absolutely. We've got admins, we've got devs, we've got GMs, we'll have guides, program, we'll have people to help with that serious kind of thing. But if you're getting trained, or someone's stealing your mobs, or someone's just being a bit of an arse and dragging something over so you can't get past into a next area, they're having a bit of fun at your expense, that's when you put a shout out to the community and say, hey, this guy's playing with me, you won't let me get past, can I get some help? And this is how people make new friends and join guilds and band together to overcome these kind of problems. And that's what's a little part of what makes games like this great.
Yep, because you got to remember, no matter how big and bad that troll is, there's always somebody bigger.
Yep,
that's exactly right, and lots of them.
Yep.
Right, so let's move on with the next question then. How much experimentation usually goes into game design with a game like Pantheon?
There's actually quite a lot. I think with any game design, it's hard to answer that as we're not developers, but from what we see and what we know, there's a lot of ideas, a lot of testing and experimentation that goes on with anything like in game design. Something may look great on paper, or it sound great in a think tank meeting or something, but when it's implemented, it just doesn't quite work, or it doesn't play nice with other features and things that we have. So, it doesn't integrate well with the mechanics. So there's always a lot of experimenting that goes on to make sure that those things do work and that they are, as good as they sound and look. And when you get in, there's a lot of tweaking that gets done, but that's, being creative is the whole part of game design, I think, and our team is incredibly talented when it comes to creativity. I think from world design to lore to music and even just thinking up combat, like fights, boss mobs and mechanics and how they work, strategies and things like that. Designing a zone without actually forcing you to go down a certain path is a lot harder than it actually sounds. So to create a free open zone and just to let you, be in awe of it and run any direction you want without having hidden paths and tracks and that leading you exactly to the next place. So I think a lot of experimentation goes on.
Trial and error, I'm sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you think the community has some crazy ideas. You should sit in some of the meetings with our guys. I mean, there's a lot of dreamers on our team, but I mean, they know the realities too, and it's fun to listen to. And I think all the core concepts of the game will make it through all the testing. I mean, there are those kind of left field things. Hey, let's try this. Let's see if we can do that. I mean, it's fun. It's super interesting, but sometimes you go ask Corey or Justin, hey, can you do this? And they just give you that look. And you're like, yeah, okay, never mind. I'll just go back over into my CM corner here. And
so was that a open invitation? Was it?
Well, man, let's not read between the lines.
Yeah. The sad thing when it comes to experimentation, what a lot of people don't realize, because I am myself a software developer, when you're experimenting and just trying to see if something works, in the event that it doesn't, you have to be okay with trashing hundreds, potentially thousands of hours of work.
Yeah.
And people don't seem to kind of realize that, like, you know, oh, let's try this mechanic because the community thinks it's a great idea, and we think it's a good idea too. So you put, say, 4 or 5 devs on it. They spend 100 hours a piece on it. You get it in, it just doesn't fit. That's scrapped. That's down the drain.
Absolutely.
It's just
I
And then
didn't
you
get
start
back
from
on your
scratch,
life,
you
yeah.
need something else. Yeah, you need something else to fill the gap now. So it's another 100 hours with 4 or 5 devs. Like it's a crazy long process.
Yeah.
But look, in saying that, the devs do take a lot of feedback from the forums, especially like they get in themselves. They read a lot without me having to, you know, show them too many links. But I do pass a lot of information on. They see a lot of your ideas and everything on the forums. That's what they're there for. So a lot of those.
What about ideas on our show?
A lot of the devs watch your show too. I do as well. Like a lot of them do. You know, I've seen discussions pop up in the, did you see the latest show on this or this from numerous different fan sites or, you know, streamers saying, oh, this is great. They talked about this. This is what we were talking about the other day. So, you know, little things like that. They are watching and listening. So keep them coming.
Nice.
Awesome.
So, do you want to bring up the next question then, Kodiak?
All right. So when it comes to the voice of Terminus, and I didn't write this, Lex did. Who is the host with the most?
Yeah, I wouldn't take credit for writing that question.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Hey, I knew I wasn't going to be reading it.
Oh, well, that would have to be without a doubt. I'm just joking. I can't shoot you guys. There's no way we can answer that question.
I'll play favorites. It's Yarn. He has the coolest accent.
There you go.
There we go. You heard it, guys.
Just so people out there know, I didn't expect to win.
You're a
I'm just
winner.
going to go cry.
You're a winner. Don't let anybody tell you different.
What a question.
And now
next.
comes the really important question.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
If I slip $20 under your door, could I expect a glimpse of the Scar modeling game? And if not 20, how about 50?
Is that Australian dollars or US dollars?
Yeah,
Whatever's more.
It's an important clarification there.
It's flat. He's just gonna pay you in flat. That's
Look, the Scar is definitely on the list. It's not something we've got in game yet, so we can't show you, but it is definitely coming along with some of the other ones. But yeah, it's like with everything. Like we don't hide this stuff from you guys. Like we don't have the Scar secretly hiding in a patch that's not, you know, wasn't released for the stream. But once we do a work on a batch of things, and once they're all ready and implemented, and you know, pass all of our, you know, tests and criteria to make sure that they're good and working all in order, then we release it to you fairly quickly. Like we either get it out in screenshots or newsletters, or, you know, a stream, or, you know, some kind of Q&A, or, you know, dev roundtables. Somehow we'll find a way to get it out to you guys as a bit of a surprise. We don't really hold on to things like that for too long. So do know that if it is coming up, which it is, I don't know when. I can't put a time, unfortunately. I'll still take you $20 if you want to give it, but I can't.
I'm expecting an invoice in the mail.
yeah.
Look, everybody's got a price, but you're not really close to mine yet.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm cheap and everybody knows it.
Hey, you know what? Isn't the Scar model this cool? Like on the website, isn't it? Aren't they freaking awesome looking?
It is amazing.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
was
I like
I
the
just
archive.
got to tell you guys, I am super interested just to see how they walk.
Movement has to be right.
Yeah.
You know,
The archive.
a lot of our placeholder mobs aren't moving the way that, or a lot of our placeholder classes and races aren't really moving the way they're going to move when the game is released. And so that's one of those things that, as they're progressing and putting these new models in the game, they're trying to get everything as close to finished as they can before they throw it in. I mean, they're just doing all this work. A lot of it is just, you know, we wanted to get the ogre out there. We wanted to show you the ogre, and you guys kind of knew the ogre was coming, I think. But you know, slipping in the gnome was, I didn't know it was going to be there. I mean, that
Yeah, it was
funny.
nice.
Funny
It
thing.
was nice.
I think we were talking.
Our gnomes are cool. I mean, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
our gnomes are the coolest
talking
gnomes ever.
before
Yeah, they're
the
awesome.
show, and I had even said, I was like, wouldn't it be great if we didn't only just see the ogre, but we saw something different?
Mm.
And we didn't get one extra thing. We got 2.
Yep.
Got the
Archive
dwarf too.
also.
I was
Archive.
like a little girl. I was just like,
Yeah, the
Yeah,
dwarf.
you got 3.
Three.
Three,
Yeah,
yeah.
3.
Yeah, we underpromised
The
and
archive
over-delivered.
looks-
You know? That's what we're here for.
The archive looks amazing. And if the
oh my
skull
god,
looks as
the
good as
lighting
that,
on that model is amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
looks
the one
incredible.
I'm excited for is the archive.
The stream doesn't do it justice either. Like when you're actually looking at it in game, there's that you haven't got that kind of interference. It looks incredible, especially the lines that are lit up on its chest, like and the back. It looks really, really good, especially at night time. See it glow.
Just leave it on the loading screen. So, I don't know.
Would it be sad if
do you know what the scar is for our world? Do you know what the scar, what it's kind of replacing, what its function is?
Ixars.
No, that's a good guess, but that's not really it.
Oh. Say I love my Ixars.
We'll leave that for some other time. We'll maybe clue you in as to what.
I'd say probably trolls. I don't know.
If it's, I told you it was a tease.
Most likely trolls because Scar are a large race. If I had to guess.
I'm gonna go off the limb here and say Kevin. Boom.
No one likes the cats.
Nah, I didn't like the tails.
That's why they got replaced by the Scar. Makes perfect sense.
And one of you
I'm not a fan of tails.
So which race were you saying? From EverQuest, the cats?
Yeah, the Kieran. Yes, we talked about EQ2.
Yeah. They're all right. I mean, that's why Lucklin blew up, though.
Right, so that was the.
I do have a couple community ones if we have time. These are also no pressure to answer.
Yeah.
Because they're
We
community
can,
questions.
we can probably do, if it's okay with Jake's, probably about 15 minutes worth of questions, 10, 15.
Yeah, a couple of minutes. Yeah.
All right, guys. Remember now, you owe them. The first question we got was harvesting gear with harvest group bonuses. Yes, no, maybe.
Okay.
Thoughts?
But maybe, yeah, definitely. We're actually starting to work on harvesting now with more than mechanic. So it's probably a little way off you actually seeing anything in a stream or something, but we've got all the background work and everything done on it. We're starting to implement that kind of mechanic now. So I don't see why not. We've got weather gear, climate gear, stuff like that. So obviously with your adventuring gear, and you're going to have crafting gear. So having harvesting gear only kind of makes sense. So I can't promise anything, but it would seem like a natural kind of progression.
Yeah.
So
Remember, guys, this is all their point of view at this point.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
This information is even under an NDA because it doesn't exist. So
That's right.
If they do this with all
purely
the gear
hypothetical.
with all the different gear sets, we need to make sure we have some type of organizational, backpack space and all that stuff too.
Bags of infinite holding for everyone.
Exactly.
You wish.
Jason, did you want to jump in on that question?
No, that's a pretty good answer, man. I think the thing is the balance is to make it not overly cumbersome. I mean, you want to have challenge and you want to have specific goals for going out and doing things. And if crafting is your game, we want you to be able to play that game. And if you don't need to be pigeonholed into doing something else. There's a lot of people in a lot of MMOs that have done nothing but craft, and then there's some MMOs that just don't allow them to do that. But hopefully crafting will be well represented. I know it's one of Kill's favorite things to do. He's a master craftsman.
From the information we've gotten so far, I can tell you this. I'm not usually a crafter, but I'm seriously thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there also has to be incentive. Maybe it's the best gear in the game, and if you can craft, right?
The next one's more of an information one for backers. What phase of testing in the timeline do the $100 backers fall into? If you happen to know.
Okay, so it's split. So it used to be the Knights Pledge. It's now changed. The Knights Pledge did have alpha and beta access, and this new pledge, I believe, from memory, just has beta. I am fairly certain the $100, $150, I think it's just beta now. We only did that because our alpha was selling like hotcakes and filling up to the point where we're almost at capacity, and we're not even close to getting there yet. So we've still got to do pre-alpha first. So with that selling so fast, we would have had to remove it completely. So instead, we've taken it back to just beta, and we've pushed alpha a little bit up the chain. So it's our pricing is basically to save our testing phases from just being overloaded because of, which is a good thing, because of all the support the community's given us. We just can't hold that many people with the amount of ones we're selling at the moment. So our testing isn't an early access for a polished game that's going to be, basically a month or two off full release. It's an actual testing period where, bugs and exploits and balances, we're going to need a lot of help testing and feedback. So we need to manage those numbers. So that's why. So the most recent $100, $150 pledge tier do not have alpha access. I believe. I think it's just beta. But yeah, the Knights pledge had both. For those that were wondering.
Yeah, alpha was starting to look like a stress test, and that's not really where we want.
Yeah, not really. That's not really the place for a stress test. That's more beta territory.
Exactly.
Let's see. The next question we got: the world will also play a huge part against the group. We have heard of the weather conditions. What else will feature? I.e., persistent events throughout the world, perhaps.
Yeah. Look, we've got the climate. Like there'll be some things in high level areas. If you step into a zone, or even within a zone, and you're fine and running around, and step into a certain area, within seconds you could die if you're not climatized properly or have the right gear. That's obviously talking much higher levels, and we're not going to be that cruel for lower levels, but you still will have a windy atmosphere that you can't pass through because you're not strong enough or you don't have the right equipment. The same with kind of, when we're talking about day-night events and cycles, that kind of blends into NPC AI and things like that. So at night, certain mobs may come out that aren't out in the daytime. They may have a pack mentality, or they may have a wimpy kind of mentality unless you get too close, and then they're quite nasty. Like there's lots of different things we can do, but climate isn't the only thing. We are looking at some kind of unique events and triggers and things like that, but I can't really go too much into that at the moment. There's a few things we're working on that we want to kind of save to show off, but it's definitely been thought about.
Yeah, and you've seen in our stream some environmental effects. They're either magical or
yeah, that's right. So
conjured in nature, where you'll have it affects you, weakens you, drains you, slows you down, eventually kills you. That sort of thing that you have to deal with as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of us saw Ko die to that accidentally while helping Brad. I was watching the helper going, get out, get out, get out!
But also,
which is also cool because there wasn't a circle on the ground, so it wasn't like a visual cue. It's just you had to watch the little square thing up on the top of his thing to find out when you were standing on it. You had to pay more attention.
That's right. They're not all kind of in your face showing you symbols of what to avoid or what to not. You have to find out by trial and error. But in saying that, you're not going to be hindered running around the world every couple of steps by something that's going to destroy you or wreck you. Like, we're not that cruel. You're going to have
I am, but I've been overridden.
Wait till level 50.
That's it. So you can run around and have fun and not run into a few of these. But if you go out at night, then expect some danger.
Yeah, the world will be boring without the threat of death, basically.
That's right. Exactly.
This one's going to be a two-parter because they're kind of related. Who came up with the concept art of Amberfast and discussed how involved the climbing feature will be in other zones? The second part being, because I'm interested in it, will mobs be able to climb after you?
That's funny. Amber Fate is it's several devs. Like it's John Disparo, our world builder. It's Chris Perkins, creative director. It's Brad. It's Justin with our lore, and others. It's no one kind of person. It's like everyone works together and does brainstorming. So it's like the brainchild of multiple talented people that think up these crazy and wonderful designs, and they constantly tweak them. That Amber Fate, and I've got to admit this, I stayed away from it for about probably 3 months because I was in the original one and got myself lost even with GM hacks. Like I was flying around and got lost. It was crazy, and I was impressed with that. It's had about 4 or 5 different changes. And this final version I hadn't seen, so I wanted to just save it as a surprise for myself for the stream, and I was absolutely blown away from what it was to what it had changed to. Even I thought it was incredible, and you guys would have seen older screenshots, would have shown the more natural rocky kind of, and now that it's got ice everywhere, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. So that and the climbing is basically a few people coming together to put all that together with their creativity. And the mobs climbing, I'm actually not sure. I think at this stage they just fly up the wall at that point, like they did in the stream, become attackers. I don't think the mechanics in there yet to allow them to climb, but that is very, very interesting that I'll definitely pass on and speak to the guys.
I'd like to vote that they stay flying, because that would be hilarious.
Yeah, you saw them whip around. It was chasing us around, and then just seemed to zip. I think some mobs climbing makes sense.
You might be able to climb. But
I'm hoping for kind of like a Princess Bride effect there, where you can stand at the top of the rope and wait for him, or give him a hand up.
That's it.
Stab him while he's coming up.
They're talking about the rogue class and maybe some other classes having that rope skill, so you can, a never-ending rope that can throw down to help people get up that aren't very good with, tactics or jumping puzzles or things like that, climbing. So, if you're afraid, you can always get someone in the group that can help you out.
Yeah, I for one, am super excited to see more about this whole rope mechanic. It sounds very interesting.
Yeah,
it'll be neat. The next one: will there be a zone that has to be entered by falling and not dying at the same time?
Oh.
We're calling it the part
I'm getting flashbacks to the hole in EverQuest.
Yeah, the hole. That's the first thing I thought of too. Was the hole.
I don't know, to be honest. That's a really good idea, though. But I know there's a couple of places, Jason, you'll know too, that we can probably do something like that. There are some very big craters, or
there is.
Something, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We don't really have information on that yet, but that's definitely a very cool idea. Sure.
You could probably go as far as to say that the terrain exists within the game for there to be a zone somewhere that we've stumbled upon and not survived. But
So, way to go, guys. You just gave them the idea to bring back the hole, because I've died in it a dozen times. Thanks.
We're gonna put holes everywhere now. Thanks for the idea.
Here's one that I think would be actually very interesting from a visual standpoint. Flaming arrows.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Lighting effects.
Yeah, if Brad rolls a ranger, I guess so. I mean, I'd have to.
Or even that, like poison tipped arrows. Any of that stuff having the poison drip from it as you're shooting it.
He even had the fiery Avenger on the stream.
I was about to say, you saw the fire dripping, the flames dripping off his fiery Avenger. So doing that with arrows, with green poison or flames, that'd be really cool. Ice,
it would be awesome.
So I'm not sure, how we could do that like graphically, but we've got it going for the swords. So arrows are a little bit different. I'm not sure how the guys would do that animation-wise, but I'm sure it's a possibility that we can look into.
Yeah, sky's the limit, and Unity will make it easier if it is possible. So maybe I think when you first walk into Amber Fate with all the ice, seeing an arrow fire down that tunnel at one of the spiders, perhaps, would be just mind-blowing.
Awesome.
Yeah. Lighting up everything as it goes. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'd just be like, you know what? No one attack it. Just let the ranger go. Why? This is pretty. Here's one
loading.
That's actually
Please wait.
Yeah, probably, because I'll be the tank. Let's see. Will there be, or will the best spell ever created be in the game? Minor illusion.
Ooh.
I thought Whirl Till You Hurl was the best spell ever created.
That one was fun.
I don't know, honestly. We've still got, obviously you guys know that we're going up to level 50 as our cap. So we've got a bunch of spells and abilities implemented, not all of them. You've seen a few of them in the stream. That's not all of them either. We haven't got everything all sorted out and classes complete right up to that level. That's what testing's going to be for too. So we'll throw a bunch at you and see which ones work, which ones don't. But illusion spells we've already got. You can see the wolf, the shaman wolf, is looking like it's translucent at the moment in its first kind of iteration. So, we do have the ability there to have that kind of spell, cast that kind of animation. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But it's not too far of a stretch to imagine that it could possibly be in game without promising it.
But don't lose hope, Janet.
Yeah, I think the greater point of that question is: are there going to be fun, kind of cosmetic, kind of just
grow
spells that don't serve any more purpose than that's fun? And yeah, definitely.
And there will be.
There's definitely going to be fun stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's all the time we got for the
cool
viewer questions. We got most of them.
Yep.
Good stuff. Well, thank you very much, guys.
You're most welcome. We're glad we could get this all set up, and we're really happy to have you here.
Thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedules.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem.
You're very welcome. We love jumping out and talking to you guys, so we appreciate it.
All right, so with that, guys, that's the dev show for this Friday. And we thought it would be a nice treat for you guys as a Christmas present to top it off after that beautiful stream that they showed us. Have these two on the show, and glad you could drop by, and hopefully we can do this again sometime. Absolutely, mate. And thank you to you guys and to everyone for the support we had for that stream. That was overwhelming. It gives us a boost as well, not that we need it, but morale boost for the team. It's just everyone is just on cloud nine after that. When we see the feedback and the excitement from the community and showing off all our hard work and seeing the response that we get from people appreciating it is just, second to none. It's the best shot on the arm of, adrenaline and boost that you can get. So thank you to
I think I speak for everyone in chat when I say, if you guys want to do it, you can do as much, as frequently as you want. We will be there.
We'll all be watching now.
When we've got enough new cool stuff to put in another one, we will be out there. So definitely promoted another stream today, Warren.
Awesome.
All right. So with that, guys, good night.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Stay safe, everyone.